Greetings and welcome to my modeling bench once again to the I forgot the name of the chopper. Westland Seeking by Revell in 1/72nd scale, as the title of the video would suggest. Or is it down there? I forgot. But anyways, the fuselage halves are together, and yeah, the great spillage of part 1 aftermath. I didn't even know the glue was leaking, but I had my finger like that. So now we have this huge fingerprint going there across what, 6 panels on the fuselage. And I'm also noticing a sink mark right here where there's a window hole. Another one right here. I don't know what to do about that. Well, anyways, maybe I don't need to. These are could pass off as dents, I suppose. But yeah, just thinking about how I'm gonna do this. How I'm gonna get rid of those fingerprints. I suspect I might try and mask off the area, like along the panel lines, on the panels closest to it, so we'll can sand those 6 panels just smooth and make it look like there's just one big smooth panel here. Right? That could happen. Or maybe I'll try and make some rudimentary sanding device that fits in between the rivets. Don't know how I'm gonna do that, but yeah, just removing the tape here from gluing the fuselage halves together. It was a little warped, both parts, so I had to glue it in tight. I mean, use the tape to press it tight together. I feel this is a better way than using the clothespin that I usually do, or used to do before I started doing it this way. But yeah, what else? So yeah, I was looking over the fuselage, the chopper, the helicopter, whatever, and that's when I noticed this little canard right here, right above the exhaust, or behind the exhaust even Steven. There's no reference to this canard being there in the instructions, and looking at pictures on the interwebs, this canard does not exist. I don't know what to call this. Looks like it's supposed to be there in the molding. Looks like a canard, albeit quite square. But yeah, I guess we could call it heavy flash or something. I don't know. But we're gonna have to do this to it. There's a little cleaning left to do. So yeah, that's where we're at the start of this video. And did I mention I managed to have the spinner actually spinning, the rotor actually spinning, albeit a little choppily, but it does spin, which is more to say than a lot of my builds. So yeah, next up is cleaning up the seam lines and this damn thing. Why not just start right away? Make that a priority. Because if that fails, I might still have a chance to enter another chopper in the build-ups. Keep hitting the tripod, sorry. So what I'm doing here is just, I'm gonna put on the tape along the panel lines, over the rivets on these panels that I want to keep. the rivets that I want to keep. Does that make any sense? And that way I hopefully get a little protection from the sandpaper. And hopefully I get to keep some of those rivets around it. But yeah, this is really the only way I see I can manage to save this. You can feel free to comment if you got a better way to do this, but I am a noob builder. I do the YouTubes, yes, but that does not mean that I am a professional model builder, or doesn't even mean that I'm experienced. I'm just an idiot with a camera and an internet connection. And I do these videos so I can show people what not to do, or at least as a reference for myself when I screw up, not to do things again that way. And it's quite hard to see now. Like so. So that's the fingerprint masked off, and I thought I'd just start and try it with some 1000 grit. Now I understand that, or I am led to believe that European sandpaper grit is not the same as the American, so it's probably like 1500 or something for Americans. Guessing wildly here, blindly even. Yeah, I'm hoping to get this somewhat smooth with this. And I guess I won't find out until the primer stage. Ripping that stuff off. Yeah, look at me, I'm actually doing stuff on camera now. Just wish I was a more interesting person so I could actually say stuff while I work. So let's just do one of those speedy uppy things. That's the sanding done. As you can see, it was pretty much the first thing to go was the rivet details. So I just switched over to my sanding stick, which is my mother-in-law's old nail file, and sanded it all off. Then I came back with the 1000 grit and finished it off with 1200 grit because that's all I have. And meanwhile I was sanding this, I actually got an idea to try to recuperate or recover, whatever. I don't even know what recuperate means. Probably means like get better after being sick or something. But yeah, this is not an English lesson and I suck at English anyways. So yeah. There we have like one big smooth panel now. But I'm going to try a crazy thing. And I only just realized the panel lines on this actually look excellent for the scale. And like the sink marks, because there's like a shelf unit in here. The sink marks on the outside where the shelf is actually line up pretty cool to the panel lines in the door there, so it looks like a realistic dents in the aluminum, I guess, or something. Like if you often look at airplanes and stuff, they often have like concave, what's the word for it in English? They got like dome-shaped kind of little panels. So that fits that criteria, is what I'm trying to say. Exactly. But yeah, my idea to do something with this was to that I'm going to, and I know this is probably not very much fun to look at, but we'll edit this down or not, because I suck. I'm an idiot. Anyways, yeah, I need some masking tape again, and I got my pin, a little pin out, because I'm gonna do a thing. I'm going to start by going across here, just below the rivets, and line up just below the rivets on the other side. Do you see where this is going? I'm just gonna put tiny little holes in it to make it look like rivets or something like that. It's not really showing off. Anyways, fast forward. So yeah, punching it with a needle ought to do the trick, and I don't know what happened there, but I seem to have gone through the plastic. It's not perfect, but it's better than a smooth panel. Can you even see that? Yeah, you can see that a little bit. Huh? It's not raised, but I try to poke it on the side a little bit, so it would like get a little bit raised. So that'll work for me at least. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that solution. Looks like I still have to do the bottom row though, and scrap a little panel line. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna throw the camera battery in the charger, and next time I turn it on, I'll probably have a lot of stuff glued on there. The first thing I'm gonna put on there is the canopy though, and I'm gonna mask that with my trusty Parafilm M. You can see my video on how I use that on my channel someplace. I forgot where it is, but looks like I'm gonna be doing the masking off camera. So yeah, see you in a little bit. Right, so now I've masked off the canopy, painted the green stuff up top here. It's not very well painted. I hand brushed it and it has quite some streaks, but yeah, it's okay. It's what else? Yeah, and then after I of course, because I mask with Parafilm M, it is better to mask the canopy before I put it on, or at least that's what I find more comfortable to do. But yeah, then this intake cover here goes on top of the canopy right there, so the green squares are masked all the way under there into a 90-degree corner, but I just added the cover anyways, and when it comes to unmasking it, I'll just run my blade alongside it and tear it off around it. It doesn't matter if the masking is still inside there, it is transparent anyways, and I did paint the green tint on there too, because I forgot about this. But anyways, it is coming together and I quite like it. The canopy fitted not perfectly, but decently, and it was quite fiddly to put in the nose piece as well. But I had to hold the canopy tightly in place for while the glue was drying, and I quite frankly got pretty tired and my fingers trying to press it in like that. So here's a little thing you can do when you have stubborn canopies like this and you don't want to hold them forever or what. And I tried this first on a spare clear part, but Tamiyacs are thin, does not craze up the windows or make them go white. At least it hasn't done for me yet, but I only do this when I am fighting a canopy or a clear part. I never go to this first. I always start with Revell Contacta Clear, but it takes a long time to harden up and cure, or whatever you want to call it. But so this time I went with the Tamiya Extra Thin, just held it in place for a few seconds, let go, and it is to my satisfaction quite flush. I'm actually quite surprised with the fitment of this kit, but you can see the putty on the seam lines there. It's just something I always do. Most of this is gonna be sanded off again, and usually you can't. Usually it all goes off. I skipped it on here on a tail boom, or whatever you want to call it, because that is already pretty flush. I sanded the stuff away, the fuselage line or whatever. I can't even talk anymore. And on the bottom side I just went into the obvious holes, because there aren't that many. I put this together quite tightly and had some spurting of plastic going there, melted plastic. So that's what's happening right now. But anyways, yeah, it's just basic assembly going on these days. Alright, got a fresh battery now, and as you can see I've been putting on some pieces like the intake cover and the glass works. I also put on the pylons, the little stubs and struts for the wheel pontoons, or whatever you want to call it. And I sanded the seam lines down, made it look better. And yeah, you have ice, you can see what I did. First off, I made some notes in between takes. I've been calling the things inside here a shelf. Of course, that's the stairway for when you open the door. It goes like this, and it's the steps to get in and out of the chopper. I guess you could use it as a shelf, but then all your stuff would fall out. The second thing was, it was mentioned to me that the parafilm M, the stuff that you see here, like a frosting on the windshield, that it's quite expensive. It looks like this when it's rolled up, and this is quite a big roll of it that I got here. And my wife, as you can see, laboratory film right there, my wife uses this at school in her mad scientist studies a lot in the laboratory, and she says it's so expensive that they only get like tiny little pieces rationed to them. They're even carefully measured out, and they only get what they need because it's so damn expensive. And I was told that, like, in Canada, a small roll of this is like $50 Canadian. But what I'm trying to say is that if you can see, I got a huge roll of this, and I got it off eBay from either Hong Kong or China. I can't remember which. So it doesn't have to be that expensive. I mean, this roll cost me like it was less than $15 US. I think it was even just right around 10, maybe 14, something like that. This is 10 centimeters, and I think it was It's either 5 or 10 meters, I forget. I think it's 5 rather than 10. So this is pretty much a lifetime supply of paraffin M for me. I only use it around canopies with what do you call it, like concave and difficult shapes, like this for example. I took off one large piece, this right here, and I did the entire canopy in one go because it is quite a nice material to work with if you got a fresh blade and a steady hand. But yeah, that's that. Now there's a time for some dead space. I forgot what I want to talk about. Like progress report on the chopper from I guess a few seconds ago for you guys, but it was yesterday that I recorded last for me. But I built the wheel things, but I didn't glue them on because they have to be yellow and have some tiger stripes on the inside and the outside, so it's easier to do that with them loose. But I did mock them up to get the right angling of the strut things. Now I got pretty much all the main assembly done, like the big parts, and all I have left to do before I start painting this thing is put on all the small fragile parts that are bound to break off when you start painting. But I still have to like putty up these holes here, probably this one as well, because there are like a few changes that you have to do. I already putted up some holes on the bottom here, and turns out the antennas that accidentally broke off just by thinking about them breaking off, I don't think they're supposed to be there, even though the instructions don't quite specify that you're supposed to cut those antennas off. But in all the other pictures they're not there, so I'm not too worried about them not being there. And in any case, if I spot them on some reference pictures, which I have not looked at yet, adding them on and scratch building them won't be that hard. It's just a flat piece of styrene and glued on there. So yeah, that's that. But as you can see, if we talk a little bit about the again, if we talk a little bit about the build itself, it has come to me as a bit of a surprise just how well fitting this is. I mean, this is supposed to be like this. It's not actually that bad, but there's a little gap underneath where I would need to put some putty on. The little winglets here for the wheel pontoons. I keep calling it pontoons. Is it pontoons? I mean, it floats on this. You need to put some putty there. I need to put some putty there on the wing root, and I will do that. The ray dome was a 2-piece job. It looks pretty smooth, but there's a tiny little hole here that I want to putty up and make it look good. You can see how that turned out. This is completely smooth now. This is completely smooth, but or not quite completely, but good enough. So yeah, even the intake parts here, intake cover, was quite well fitting, but on the top at least, but on the sides not as much, so it took kind of fiddling and forcing, and ended up actually taking some putty here, but that's okay. It worked out just fine. And you can see the bottom here. This is where it was attached to the sprue. This is where it was a hole you were supposed to fill up, and so there's not a lot of stuff there going. Here was a attached to the sprue again, and this is also a sprue attachment, sprue gate, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, overall it's actually a pretty good fit, and I'm quite enjoying it so far, except for the instructions are kind of confusing. You have to triple read them just to make sure you got the right information out of it. Oh yeah, and did some scribing, of course. Rescribed everywhere where I put the putty on patty. So that's coming along just nicely now. But we gotta go finish up tonight by adding the putty, letting it set overnight, then going over it again, seeing if I need to add some more, if it sinks or reduces or whatever you call it, and put all the fiddly tiny antennas and stuff that is bound to break off again. Oh dear. Oh yeah, and close up the bottom there. And that's that, yeah. And then I gotta figure out a way if I'm just gonna put something in the hole here, or actually temporarily fix the door, because I want the door to be open. I want to be able to look at the instruments in there and stuff. So I'm just gonna quit this video now. This has already been like a 9-minute rambling. I don't know, probably a half-hour long video or something by now. So yeah, thanks for watching. Keep modeling, keep having fun. Bye.